the fastest show in sports.
I am seething at the ridiculous prices for fans to go see games these days. And this comes down to the Winter Classic, the NHL special that's being held in Miami January 2nd of 2026. It's being held at the Marlins ballpark. Of course, they have this because a lot of them do it at ballparks and football stadiums to get the attendance. It's a dome stadium. It's in January where the mean temperature is anywhere from 75 to 80 degrees. So it's not a Winter Classic. And if you look, I posted this on social media and made the point, and I had a lot of people agree with me on this one, quite frankly, that if you look at the way it's set up, the ice is set up very close to home plate, almost right on it in that belly that comes out of every ballpark. And those seats right there, those main low box seats, $750 a piece.
Okay.
And then if you want to go into left field, let's say the cheapest seats, $250 for a seat that everybody looks like ants on the moon. It's a gouge, for Christ's sake. I mean, people ought to be able to afford going to a game without having to spend $2,000 just to see one lousy game.
Hey, hang on, hold up. I want to play devil's advocate for a moment.
I'm hot on this one. Go ahead.
I got the. I'm a rich business person in Miami.
We know that.
I want to go sit front row. Well, what would be the front row of the baseball seats, and I want to be front row for hockey. So I got no problem paying $750 a ticket. What am I missing, Ed? I'm going to be able to see the game. Hang on, I'm going to be able to see the game up against the glass, aren't I?
You're not. That's the point.
What are you talking about?
You're not seeing the game up against the glass because the way the stadiums are positioned, and look at it where they've had it at Michigan Stadium or any other place, you're not right up against the glass. You're backed off because that's the way the stands are. They're not putting in temporary seats. And not only that, my buddy Mick Colaggio, who has written hockey for 100 years in New England, came up on the post, and he made a great observation. The ice is elevated from that point, and you have boards around it. And even though you have a plexiglass on top of it, you still have boards that are around the ice. On those low seats, you can't see the game. You can't see down into the game because the seats aren't designed for that. So you're basically paying $750 to go see a game, and you're barely going to see it. You'll be watching the scoreboard all game long. And then if you still are up high from one of the skyboxes, it's another $300-400 still a seat to go to a game. Kevin, I don't care about that. Let the rich people go to the games. I get it. Everybody gets a rich man's seat. That happens for the wealthy. I'm a fan guy. I root for the fan, the nickel and dime guy and gal who's trying to go to the games, trying to have some fun, bring their kids there, enjoy it. You can't do it anymore. If you wanted to take a kid to go see a hockey game at the Winter Classic, you're going to spend anywhere from, with parking and concessions, $1,500 for a family of four. That's ludicrous. That's insulting because the leagues, I'm sorry, guys, I'm off on a tangent on this. I really apologize.
I wound you up.
For the leagues on this, every single damn sports league tells us we don't make a lot of money from fans in the seats. We've heard that now for decades, generations. That's not where we make our money. We make our money from the marketing, from the TV rights, from the radio rights, from the concession rights and everything. We don't make that much money. Then stop gouging them in the seats. Let people be able to afford it with really great seats instead of paying $10 or $15 or $30, now $40, whatever it is for the nosebleeds, and you're sitting up in the middle of nowhere. You're in the stratosphere. Let people be able to afford games.
I'm just gonna quote my favorite resident from South Florida. You know, first you get the money, then you get the woman, then you get the Winter Classic tickets. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. It is the pricing is insane. I think that it's a novelty as well. Like, I don't know how many Winter Classics have they had in Miami so far?
None. This is the first.
Yeah, no, and I know, and I can just see you, Ed. You know, you're going to pay that, and you're going to go to you and you're going to go to you and Shannon's mini bar, and you're going to take the ice and combine it with the ice at the Winter Classic just to make it feel like you're there. I think, look, I don't know. Winter Classic in Miami is funny in its own
It
right, and it
is.
shows you how much the sport has grown. The NBA All Star Game does this. The you know I it's boy tickets to live events are just insane nowadays. The like we said last show, hockey's one of the few sports where it translates better in person than it does on television.
Every time.
And yeah, and so, but I guess I don't pay, this is the thing. When you're a journalist and I'm removed from traveling day to day and going to big events, but when I did, I never paid and they always gave me great seats. And even
I
when
know.
I didn't go and I wanted to go as a fan, you would pay, but you would call up the person in your office that was connected to the
Yep.
Marlins or the Yankees or whatever, and you would get seats. And they might not have been great, but they were like, you got into the arena and you paid the price. I was never one of these people. Kevin and I work in a fortunate industry, that actually paid for much of our fan experiences. And so we're spoiled.
Yep.
So I can't
Look, all the
relate with
great games that I can still remember in my
with the
lifetime were all
people.
career games, Mike. I mean, the
Yeah.
games I saw were mostly 99% of them were career games that I was paid to go attend, and I was part of the media, and I'm sitting there in the press box. Those are the great
Yeah.
games I remember. I mean, like being on the field when the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees in the ALCS, and then being at the World Series. I got paid to do that. It was great, but it still gets to the point where I want people to be able to afford it. And here's part of the nonsense that goes on this. When I posted this up on social media and I put up diagrams of Marlins Park and I showed where 4 sets of seats were with the prices for them, I got an answer back from a gentleman named Craig Minervini. Craig has been in this market for a long time. He used to work in West Palm Beach. Craig now works for and gets paid by the Miami Marlins and the Florida Panthers technically because he's part of the broadcasts. So we all know that money sort of filters down. He's all
Yep.
part of the mid shows, but technically his salary comes from them. And I know Craig sees this, he's going to get angry, but you said it, so let's get out here. He answers my thing about the tickets by going, I guess you don't get out much, was his response. I'm sorry,
Oh my
but
God! I'm going on that page right now and going after him.
I
What the
became
hell does that mean?
I
Hang on, what the hell
became
is
the
that? I
asshole
was trying
for a
to look
minute
at
when I
receipts,
answered
sorry.
back to him.
What the hell?
And
What
I
does that
said,
mean? What does that mean? You don't get out much?
Yeah.
I went back to him and I said, okay, Craig, I guess because you're the guy who knows everybody there, maybe you can get everybody tickets. And I printed this on social media. I said, everybody call Craig right now. Craig's got the connections to get you real great seats with people at the at the Marlins and at the Panthers to get it. Because that's not even the point. It still, as a matter of fact, you get to go to the games for free. Other
Yeah.
people don't get to do that.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not.
Ed
I still want to
Berliner,
know what.
voice.
I still want to.
Ed Berliner, voice for the voiceless.
Well, that's
I
that's
want
a
to know
really
what this.
strange
I
thing.
want to know what you don't get out much means. I'm really curious about that.
I have,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have
What
no
is
idea.
that?
Because I
And
guess
it's
what
just-
his second line after that was something to the effect of everything's expensive or every game's expensive or every game's expensive right
Okay,
now.
but hang on. This is the point we're all making, or you especially. Does it have to be expensive? Does it have to
No.
be?
No. I mean, look, you're going to have the expensive seats, the skyboxes. Every team has got them now where they have the skyboxes, the club seats, the lounge seats, which are a higher price. That's to be given. You
Right.
go in there, you're going to pay several $1,000s to go have your company there, and that's what usually happens. It's a big sponsorship payment more than anything else. But I want the guy with the 2 kids to be able to go down and sit on the ice, right against the glass one day. I want him to be able to experience it without having to go to a corner seat up in the middle of nowhere and still have to pay $25 a beer and feed their kids $15 Cokes, whatever. I still, that's how you grow a sport. But, and I got to shut up now because I could go off on this for hours.
Yeah.
A lot of the teams will say, or a lot of people will come back and say, but most people don't go to the games. They become a fan because they watch it now on pay-per-view. They sit at home. They enjoy. They have everything there. You got to go to the game. You got to experience it. You got to be there. And that's especially what kids need to do to keep them involved in the sport.
That's all, folks.